Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about the transformation of Japan's imperial family. Over time, the emperor went from being a powerful political and religious leader to a symbolic figure with no governing authority. Japan has one of the oldest monarchies in the world. Early emperors were believed to be descendants of the sun goddess Amaterasu, which gave them both religious and political authority. However, this power did not stay the same. Because of major historical changes, the emperor's role shifted over time. The transformation happened due to the rise of military governments, the reforms during the Meiji Restoration, and political changes after World War II. In early Japanese history, the emperor held a strong authority, since emperors were believed to be descendants of Amaterasu. Their rule was seen as divine. Because of this belief, the emperor had control over both the government and religious life. This made the emperor the main figure in society. During periods like the Heian era, the imperial court controlled culture and politics. Emperors such as Emperor Tenmu worked to strengthen the system and reinforced divine rule. As a result, the emperor was not just a symbolic figure, but an active ruler whose decisions shaped Japan's government. However, this power began to decline in the late 12th century. Military leaders rose to power, starting with Minamoto no Yoritomo, who created the Kamakura shogunate. Because of this, political power shifted away from the emperor. As a result, the shogunate system power was held by military and the samurai class. The emperor remained important, but mostly as a symbol. This pattern continued for centuries under different shogunates. Therefore, the emperor's role became more ceremonial rather than political. Power shifted again during the Meiji Restoration. The Tokugawa shogunate ended and authority was returned to the emperor under Emperor Meiji. This happened because Japan wanted to modernize and respond to Western influence. Even though the emperor was restored, the system had changed. Government officials and advisors made most of the decisions. So, while the emperor had formal authority, the control was limited. This shows how the restoration was not a full return to earlier power. The most significant change happened after World War II. Japan was defeated and placed under Allied occupation. Emperor Hirohito played a role in Japanese surrender, which marked a major shift in the country's leadership. In 1947, Japan adopted a new constitution. Because of this, the emperor was no longer considered divine and lost all political authority. Instead, the emperor became defined as a symbol of the state and the unity of the people. This officially transformed the role into a ceremonial one. Today, the emperor, currently Emperor Naruhito, serves as a symbolic figure. He participates in ceremonies and represents Japan both culturally and internationally. Although there is no political power, the imperial family remains important to Japan's identity. This transformation shows how political systems can evolve over time. Japan was able to modernize and become a democracy while still maintaining its traditions. The imperial family continues to represent unity and cultural identity without political power. The reason I chose this topic is because I've always been interested in Japanese history and how traditions continue even as society changes. Japan is a really strong example how a country can move forward without completely losing its past, which I think is really interesting. Overall, this topic matters because it shows that power and leadership are not permanent, and as a result, they can change depending on historical events. At the same time, traditions can still remain important even in a modern society. And that is the end of my project or presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed it and have a good rest of your guys' day.